What's going on, guys? Your boy Travis Preston, and I'm in the DMV exploring my own back town. So right now I'm in Yorktown, Virginia, which is closer to Norfolk. I know everybody heard of Norfolk. So I really wanted to show you guys something new, which is going to be Yorktown Battlefield. All right, so I'm at the visitor center, right? So I'm at the visitor center, and that's where we're going to start our journey. Now they have multiple ways that you can explore this or tackle this. You can actually walk it, or you can drive, right? So it's a self-guided tour, which I think is about 7 to 10 stops. So the park ranger told me that it's going that it should take about 15 minutes if you're just speeding through, but we're not going to speed through because I want to make sure that you guys get each point. All right, so it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to drive to each point. I have a little local map that she gave me, and then from here I'm gonna go to kind of bounce around to other points in Yorktown. All right, so make sure you stay tuned and let's go. All right, so right now we're at stop A, which is the British Inner Defense Line. The British Inner Defense Line remains a significant physical reminder of the siege still slicing through the town. Efforts by the local citizens in 1783 to have the line level failed. These fortifications with some modifications were utilized again during the Civil War. So if you kind of pan this way, you can kind of see this is kind of the area that they're talking about. So as you can see, we have some little fences, some wooden fences, which is very common back then, and a nice little open area. So you kind of use your imagination on this one. All right, so let's go to stop B. Stop B, okay, here we go. So this is the first Allied siege line. So the reconstructed line of earthworks replicates a French artillery, battery of the Allies' first siege line. A gentle rain was falling on the night of October 6, 1781, as 1,500 soldiers quietly began constructing these fortifications following a row of pine strips laid out by the engineering officers. Another 2,800 soldiers with muskets silently stood guard in case of a British assault. So I'm gonna pan over a little bit. So like I said, use your imagination in this open field, where we started from A and now we're at B, okay? Like I said, in this one, you really gotta use your imagination, different from where I was at the Battle of Antietam, which I did vlog. Make sure you go check that out, all right? Stop C. So this is the second Allied siege line, all right? Remember, it started the first one. So you are standing near the left side of the reconstructed second siege line. A large portion of the line, to Cornwallis's consternation, was constructed under the cover of darkness on October 11th and 12th, 1781. At daybreak, the British saw that their enemy now had them within point-blank artillery range, just 360 yards away. So right now, like I said, we're right here. We're the second Allied siege line, and Yorktown is kind of that way. So that's the historical Yorktown that we're going to visit later on, all right? Across from where I was at the second siege, directly behind me, is Yorktown National Cemetery, all right? So out of respect, I'm not going to go in there and film, but you can go on my Instagram. I took a few pictures and stuff like that. But so to this side is where everybody is kind of, buried and stuff like that. It's a couple of unknown soldiers that died here. So as you can see, there's a sign right here, please enter with silence and respect, all right? So make sure, I hope you guys obey that and stuff like that. So that's why I stayed outside the gate to say this portion. All right, so we're at letter D, all right, which is the redoubts 9 and 10. So the completion of the Allied second siege line was blocked by a portion of the British outer works. 2 detached earthen forts called redoubts 9 and 10, located 400 yards in advance of the British inner defense line. Though General Washington considered Allied frontal attacks against the British inner defense line impractical and costly, redoubts 9 and 10 were a different matter, okay? General Washington called upon the infantry to capture these positions. On October 14th, Allied artillery bombarded redoubts 9 and 10 most of the day, preparing for American and French assaults. Approximately 8 o'clock in the evening Approximately 8 o'clock in the evening, the artillery briefly fell silent. Then several cannons fired in unison, the signal for the attack columns to move on their objectives, all right? So you got a little pathway, you have the water right here, and as you follow me through, So you can kind of imagine the redoubts in this area right here behind me. All right. All right, so stop E. We're at the Morehouse, which is directly behind the camera, which I will show you in a minute. But let me read this first. On October 18th, 1781, after over 8 days of continual bombardment, the battlefield was finally tranquil. Washington and Cornwallis now focused on the surrender negotiations taking place at this house, the home of the Augustine Moore. Each general had selected 2 officers to handle the face-to-face discussions. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Dundas and Major Alexander Ross represented the British, while Lieutenant Colonel John Lawrence and Second Colonel, who got some weird ranks back then. Viscount de, okay, yeah, I don't speak French. I ain't gonna hold you. De Noailles spoke for the Allies. All right, so that's the Morehouse. So the history of the Morehouse is an early 18th century home that has undergone many structural changes and about 50 owners. That's crazy, 50 owners. The house was extensively damaged during the Civil War, both by cannon fire and soldiers stripping wood from the house for campfire use. By the 150th anniversary of the surrender, the house was in a dilapidated state. In 1931, the National Park Services undertook its first restoration of the historic building, all right, the Morehouse. All right, so let me show you the Morehouse, all right? All right, so travels with Preston, like I said, I'm always meeting new people. This is why I love traveling. So tell me where you guys are from your thing.
We are from New Jersey, right by LBI. We're the Scheinbergs, Manahawkin, New Jersey, and we're your new fans.
Yeah, yeah.
I love history.
I do love history. I was a history major in college.
That's
so, yeah.
what I want to major in history.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm a senior in high school this year.
Senior in high school?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've been out of high school
Few years.
couple days, yeah.
We said we're from Jersey, and we've like been all around. Like we started in Mount Vernon, then we went to James Madison, then we went to Thomas Jefferson, and now we're over here. I planned the whole trip.
Really?
Yeah.
All for her.
That's
we're very
beautiful.
proud of her. Yeah.
So you guys went to Montpelier, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've been there several times over the last year and a half. So I'm actually friends with Montpelier. So actually, I did some work for them this year, twice.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow.
So I actually got a personal tour of Montpelier from their senior historian. So they actually, the whole place was closed and they opened it up for us. Well, when I say us, me and my wife.
Nice.
And they gave us personal tour inside the house. We went behind the scenes for places where if you bought a ticket, you wouldn't be able to see. But it was super awesome. I love Montpelier. I love everybody there. And also, so then back in March or April, they had a cooking class that featured Jerome. He's a African-American chef that literally, I guess his forte is cooking earth style, so outside. And he actually cooked different meals that the enslaved would have cooked and prepared for the Madisons and stuff like that. That and like, obviously their guests and stuff. It was like a 3.5 day thing. So it was really beautiful. And that's on my YouTube channel as well. And they plan on doing it next year. So this year was the inaugural conception of it. So yeah, it was super, super awesome. I love them. So I plan on going back next year for that.
Cool.
Monticello.
Oh, Monticello.
Yeah, I did Monticello too. That's on the YouTube channel as well. So I'm trying to check out all the president homes in Virginia. So I done been to the Highlands. I've been to Monticello, obviously Mount Vernon, Montpelier. I think I went somewhere else. I can't remember, but I'm trying to work my way through all of them. So yeah, it's kind of my thing.
They were suggesting we go to when
They said that we should go to the Highland, but we didn't have time.
Oh,
that's
that's the one
James
we-
Monroe.
Yeah, so the Highlands is pretty awesome.
Did you check out that area where that 2-day battle? There's a whole.
In
it's really cool.
it was close to Montpelier. It was called like the Battle of Saunders.
I did not. So I'm working my way through all the battlefields. So I've done Bull Run. I did Antietam in Maryland. So I'm just kind of making my way through. I did Fredericksburg battlefield, stuff like that, because I live in Virginia now. So it's kind of easier to kind of navigate through Virginia.
I
So
want to check out that because there's all trails like in the woods where the soldiers
Yeah.
were fighting and stuff.
Pretty
It's
cool.
really cool. It's
Okay, cool.
information over there.
I definitely would
It's
check
just a
that
place you
out.
just drive up to. It's not like You don't pay for nothing. You just drive up. They got this whole booth where it shows everything.
And it was like an actual, like, I didn't think that
Really
it would
cool.
be like a legit battle. Like there was like 31,000 like casualties.
In
there.
2
Like,
days.
Wow.
It was an actual, like, it was pretty cool.
So you guys should definitely check out the Battle of Antietam.
That's in Maryland.
That's in Maryland. So literally, it's the bloodiest war in American history because obviously North and South. But it's super depressing, but has a lot of information. Super. I mean, oh my God! And if you're a history major, you will love it. Yeah, you definitely love it, especially for that time period.
Made your day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you.
Thank you. Enjoy. All right. All right. So on the final stop is F. All right. So we have Surrender Field. So on October 19th, 1781, British troops commanded by Lieutenant General Charles Cornwallis marched from heavily damaged Yorktown and surrendered on this field to the Allied French and American armies under the command of General George Washington. Cornwallis' pleading illness did not accompany his men. What a cop-out. All right. So right behind this sign is Surrender Field. So we're going to take a walk up there. After a short walk up the little pathway, you come to like a little small pavilion that has like a button that you can push, and it gives you kind of a sense of what happened at Surrender Field. But directly to my right, as you can see, this is the open field that the British surrendered. All right, so this is pretty fascinating if you ask me. I know it's not a lot of columns and buildings and structures, but if you use your imagination, you can kind of visualize it in your mind. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. This is Yorktown Battlefield. This Travels with Preston. I bring a new video every Monday at 1400 for you veterans and 2 o'clock for you cool guys too. But so I see you guys next Monday. Peace.